Hello, I'm Elizabeth Conley, a senior interview coach here at Interview Skills Clinic. Welcome to part 2 on our series on civil service personal statements. Now, in part 1, Matt explained what a civil service personal statement actually is and why it's so important to the SIFT. In this video, I'm going to show you a simple structure you can follow step by step to write a strong statement with confidence. Now, let's start with tip 1. First of all, begin with motivation. Start with a short opening paragraph explaining why this role, why you are applying for this role, and how does it fit with your skills and experience? Why this department? This immediately gives the panel a sense of who you are and why you're a strong candidate for the role. Now, just as a quick reminder before we go any further, if you are finding this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss part 3 of the series. Also, I've added a few useful links below that you may like. You can download our free civil service personal statement checklist. Also, if you're looking for one-to-one application coaching, you can book a free consultation from our website. Also, if you have an interview coming up and you're entry level, you can have access immediately to our online civil service course, which is going to help you succeed. Now, let's continue. So we've talked about really how to write that motivational paragraph. So what's next? Well, in tip 2, this is really about building your narrative. Now, depending on the job specification, this can be around the essential and desirable criteria, or you might even be given a specific topic that they want you to cover in your personal statement. Sometimes it can be write a 500-word personal statement on working with colleagues from different backgrounds, or you could be asked to write a 500-word personal statement around the skills, the technical skills that you bring to the role. So every statement is different depending on the job specification. So really, please do read it carefully before you start because it can make a huge difference. Now, you might be writing 500 words or you might be asked to write 1,800 words. Now, the key to success is really to build the narrative within the statement. So rather than writing separate mini star examples, which is what so many people do, a little bit like the civil service used to ask when they had the old competency framework. Instead, try and weave your experience into a flowing narrative. Let me try and show you how this might work in practice. Let's say you've been asked to demonstrate the criteria of working with multiple stakeholders. So this is really very common. And this is, of course, similar to the civil service behaviour working together. When you get to this section, instead of writing one rigid star example, you would build a narrative that draws on different situations that you have faced, which demonstrates your skill in working together. So in X project, for example, I collaborated with a cross-departmental team where they had very different priorities, such as, i.e., I built strong professional relationships by respectively discussing points of contention, such as, which helped us reach agreement on X, whatever X is, okay, depending on what the key outcome is. I was inclusive in my approach. I shared knowledge, such as very clearly and concisely, so everyone understood the objectives. Now, you are going to name the project, you are going to give snippets of evidence because the evidence is really important. But then you're going to move seamlessly into another example. And the way you choose your examples is think about how relevant they are to the role that you're going for, but also how much they demonstrate the behaviour or the criteria that you're trying to demonstrate in this part of the statement. So in this case, we're talking about working together. So you might carry on and say, in a separate policy area, I worked very closely with colleagues in X department to reduce the risk of conflicting approaches. This is quite a good thing to bring up because the challenge of working together is the fact that we all have different perspectives. I encourage debate by I listen to different opinions by I use my professional network to align our work. By keeping regular contact and maintaining buy-in, I ensured senior stakeholders remain supportive. Again, you're going to add in some details of the project and snippets of evidence to support what you're saying. What's really powerful here is that you're not listing just a whole series of actions. You're just listing duties. You're giving context. You're showing the actions you took, but you're highlighting it through the lens of stakeholder skills. And you're talking about the challenges and highlighting the impact. This is really what makes a strong narrative. It flows naturally from one example to another, weaving in evidence of your ability, in this case of working together. This is instead of writing separate star examples which are just disconnected. So for tip 3, star is useful. Don't just throw it out, but use it for depth, not structure. It's a tool. So situation and task was going to give us context. Actions show what you did. The results highlight the impact. But you're going to drop the elements in naturally into your sentences rather than writing those star examples. Now, there will be times, so please don't get confused with this, there will be times on applications when you are asked to still write 250-word behaviour star examples, in which case that is what you want to have to do. And, we've got lots of videos on this that I can share about how to write that star example. But when you're writing a personal statement, it's about building that narrative around the skills and experience that they are asking for and giving evidence as you go, all right? Rather than writing a 250-word star example and then another 250-word star example, which is not linking and it's just in the wrong structure, okay? So very, very important. Tip 4, do weave in the behaviours and strengths. The SIFT panel do want to see your strengths and behaviours in action. The strengths aren't always mentioned, but the civil service do focus on behaviours and strengths, so it is worth looking at them. But the behaviours are things like delivering at pace, communicating and influencing, making effective decisions. They will be listed in the job specification that you have got. So don't list them, but again, let them come through naturally in your stories. For tip 5, you need to close with confidence. Just don't end abruptly. End with a short paragraph that reinforces your motivation for the role and why your blend of skills and experience makes you a strong candidate. And here's a real good tip to remember. When you're drafting, always ask yourself, am I showing the impact of what I did? What is the so what of this? This is something when I'm working with clients, as I'm going through an application, I'm asking myself, so what? Why are we telling this information? What's the value of this? That single shift, focusing on outcomes rather than duties, is really what lifts a personal statement from average to outstanding. And you want outstanding. You want to be getting 6 and 7s out of 7. In part 3 of this series, Matt will be back to cover the most common mistakes candidates make in the civil service personal statement and how to avoid them. And don't forget, you can download our free checklists below to help you write a personal statement. And if you'd like to discuss application coaching, then you can book a free consultation with us. Finally, let us know in your comments, what do you find hardest when you're writing a personal statement? Is it starting the statement? Is it structuring it? Is it choosing the right examples? Or is it just simply staying within the word count? Thanks for watching and best of luck with your application.